What's up, bros, bears, muscle mommies, and everything in between? As always, this is Patrick for Primal Power, your mom's favorite power lifter, top 50 power lifters of all time. This is going to be a bit of a shorter video today because we got to do a little bit of mental prep on today. So I'm not going to be able to talk to you guys as much. I don't even have the microphone set up right now. So we're working up to 715 on deadlifts. My PR is 772 in comp, so we're gonna mentally prepare for that. So I'll see you guys there. Ooh, Maguire called me a Thanksgiving side dish. We had ourselves a deadlift day today, and if you think macaroni and cheese is an appropriate side dish for Thanksgiving dinner as opposed to stuffing, I actually don't have an opinion on that. I've never had that. I don't know how to experience that. And honestly, if you guys let me know how that is, let me know. I'm now curious. I was going to talk shit about it. It's too late. I was going to talk shit about it, but it might actually be pretty good. So, how did today's training go? So we started off, as you guys see or have seen, with the lock basic 5. This primes the core and the core and lower back and hip girdle for intensive exercise. And believe it or not, we did some intensive exercising today known as deadlifts. We then transitioned to a wonderful camera angle of our chest supported, thoracic spine extended dumbbell rows. Nothing fancy with that, just getting blood flow going to the back, not looking to strain ourselves or get a really big pump. We just want blood flow. Blood flow is important. Your muscles can't really work if no blood. No blood. What blood does is blood give oxygen good lift. Very good. Yes. Why speak many word when few word work fine? So we did that. And then, if you guys couldn't tell on my way in, I was a little peeved. I was not a super happy boy. I was a little bit of a Grumposaurus Rex. And part of it is, deadlifts. You got to get a little bit psyched up for heavy deadlifts, especially when your max is in the 7s and you're also working in the 7s today. So that I was a little on edge already because of that. But this morning, my roommate lost her keys. And she made me late for work because I was looking for her keys. And I don't like being late. I'm a lot like a period. I don't like being late. And then when I got home, she also kept me up later last night than I had anticipated. And I needed to take a nap. I needed to take 1 hour and 25 minutes worth of nappage. And I get home and Buddy's outside because my landlords informed us that an electrician was coming to solve a fire hazard because they'd had us shut off the circuit breaker is actually in our living space, and they had to shut off one circuit breaker for about a year at this point. And they're like, it's the circuit breaker that allows the garage door and whole garage to open, close, and have light turn on and off. And not having that for the winter is not super cool, not super fun. It was like the prior homeowners did it themselves and did it very poorly and didn't follow wiring regulation. Like if any of you are electrical engineers or electricians or have any sort of knowledge of positive and negative standards when it comes to wiring, they did not follow that. All the wires were the same color. So the electrician solved that. So Buddy was outside, and I got home, I took a poop, and I told, when there's strangers in the house, or have been strangers in the house, Buddy is extra. And so I was trying to take a nap. Every single bump and sound in the house made Buddy just go fucking wild and barking, yelling, sounding like there's bloody murder going on. And I was frustrated, very frustrated with how things were going. And then my roommate gets home and starts tearing apart the living space looking for her keys. And I'm trying to sleep. Her coming home caused Buddy to go crazy. And her searching made Buddy go crazy and jump all over me and stuff. So I got no sleep in that hour and a half nap. I was doing very excessive flopping as if to say, shut the fuck up, without actually saying that. So I was trying to be kind and be as kind as being passive aggressive can be. And I punched the wall. And I split my pinky knuckle on my right hand open. That's my overhand while I'm deadlifting. So that, and the children at work all week. It's not a full moon, but we got 2 moons right now because we got an asteroid in lunar orbit right now. So the kids must have been like, you know what? We're going to count this as a full moon, and we're going to be fucking assholes all week. And yeah, so no following directions, no this, no that. Children were absolute terrorists, without a doubt. No ifs, ands, or buts. There was domestic terrorism going on, and it was the preschoolers and kindergartners that I was in charge of for this week. So I get to the gym. I set up my deadlift bar. I got all this pent up frustration and anger in my system. What happens? Homie steals my bar and platform. My gym has 1 kabuki bar, and I'm the only one who competes on a kabuki bar. Homie. So I fucking hate the kabuki bar. Let's just start with that. Nothing on the homie who stole the kabuki bar, but the fact that I have to use a kabuki bar, which is a deadlift bar that is way more expensive and is useless to 90% of powerlifters, but all these fucking high-level meets are using a fucking kabuki bar, forcing the top-level competitors to use a kabuki bar. The younger lifters, the teenage lifters, love using a kabuki bar because they feel like they can deadlift more on the kabuki bar, so they try to hoard the kabuki bar. And they never compete on the kabuki bar, so they're like, why are my lifts not as good as they are in the gym? When I'm competing on the Texas bar, I'm using a kabuki bar. But my gym has 1 kabuki bar because it's one of the most expensive bars in the gym because it's stupid. And so homie doesn't know about the shenanigans associated with the kabuki bar, and he's a newer lifter. He doesn't know. It was one of those where he didn't know what he did wrong, so I couldn't get mad about it. But I was multiple people came up to me and were like, "What's up, Patrick? You look like you're about to tear something in half. Like you're gonna murder someone." And I'm like, "Yep, yep, I feel that. Yep, And yeah, one of the females came over. She's like, "Do you want a gummy worm?" And when the homies was like, "Yeah, Patrick, do you want her worm in your mouth?" And I was like, "Homie, I'll take anything of hers in my mouth." I did not have the gummy worm though because it's not on my meal plan, and biryani terry is scary. Anyways, back to the story. He finally got off the kabuki bar. You guys have probably already blown past the deadlifts today. So we started warming up. We warmed up. First warm up was 2 plates. 2 reds, which is like 295. I don't know. 110. It's like 55 pounds per plate. So 220 plus. It's like 265, I think. I never used kilo plates at the point that I've never had less than 4 kilo plates on a bar. So I'm struggling a little bit getting into this standard of knowing what's on the bar. And then we did that for a set of 3 and being frustrated. I do not like to, I take my frustration out. You don't want to jump into a lift because if you lift angry, that's when you get injured. So making sure you're still going through your cues and then allowing the anger to go into the power and the intentionality of a movement is positive. But if you forget cues because you're lifting angry, that's no bueno. You got to learn how to use your emotions to properly lift. So we did 2 plates. I got a good hover going. So I used my anger and aggression to wedge into the bar more effectively, and it worked out real good. So we did 3x1, 2 plates. And when I'm in this mood, I like to emphasize the whippage in the bar. And the kabuki's really easy to emphasize the whip on the bar, and it kind of slingshots down and yeah, drop it from like just below the knees. And then we jumped up to 4 reds, which is about 495, 496, I think this is what it is. Did that for a set of 2. And then I jumped up to 6 plates. Now, if you're any sort of powerlifting connoisseur who knows their kilo plate conversions, 6 plates is 716. And I was thinking 6 plates is 600 because I wanted my last warm up to be 600, 606, like around there. And I'm like, no one wants to talk to me at this point because I'm a grumpy boy. I'm looking furious. The Fast and the Furious. Nah, this is the Fat and the Furious, boys. And so no one told me, and I knew. I was like, something's not right. I didn't even try to pull it, and I was like, I don't think that jump is right. So I looked at the chart, and I was like, yes, I need 5 plates, not 6. So I took the 6th plate off, and one of the homies was like, oh, I was like, I was a little worried. I was a little intimidated. You jumped from 500 to 7. I was like, not braining right now. So the last warm up at 6, it's like 601 or something, 599, whatever. Felt like my best warm up. It felt lighter than the 2 plates, so that was good. And from then henceforth, we did singles. So we did that 600 for a single, felt really good. And then we popped up, we did our first working set at 695. That we had a 1x1 at 695, 1x1 at 715, and then a 3x1 60 seconds rest at 585, 584 point whatever. So 695, that moved, and I was like, damn, that was actually pretty easy. All we got to do is add 20 pounds to this. And I already cropped it and sent it to the homies because one of the homies was being like a cheerleader right now. They have a crush on Zach Hadge. Poor me. But it moved. It looked easy. And it was easy. And I locked it out real good. And I didn't have to do my neck adjustment. My chin was already in the right place at lockout. And I was like, all right, we're onto something. So we deadlifted 717. It was like 716 point whatever. So 717 rounded. And we pulled that, and everything clicked. Everything was good. And I held it at the top. Now, in the past, I was stuck at 675 as my deadlift max for 7 years because anytime I would try to take 700, it would drop out of my hands. So in meet prep, now whenever I do heavy deadlifts, I make sure to hold it at the top for a long while because my grip strength is my weak point on my deadlift. So 717, we locked it out, and I counted in my head to 10 before I put it down. And really good. I looked at the timestamps of the deadlifts, and the 600 was 5 seconds with the setup included. The 695 was 7 seconds with the setup included, and the 717 was 10 seconds with the setup and hold included. So all in all, we are deadlifting super fast right now, and it's feeling really good. And we're not even. This is just the first singles that we've taken in training so far, and we are 5 weeks out from the American Pro 3 starting. Or tomorrow will be 5 weeks out. 36 days right now. Everything's feeling good. Everything's feeling good. Everything is feeling good. And then we finished off. We did accessories. We did standing hip adductions. Yes, I do slur that word because I don't know if it's abduction or adduction. So I just revealed the man behind the curtain to you guys there for a second. Supersetted with half goblet squats, bottom half goblet squats. First sets of 8 or 10 and 8. And then we did some calves. Instead of doing a 4x12, we did a 2x24 because calves, you know. And then we finished off, and we're doing this thing. My resting heart rate right now is not where I want it to be. I'm uncomfortable with where it's at right now. It's at 77 right now. Last week it was at 78 for a couple days. But that's with the cold and flu coming up, and I do have a little bit of a cough right now, because the only role children play in society is to keep the germ pool nice and updated and thriving. So, working in an elementary school right now, I've gotten sick every week. Good job, me supporting my CNS and progress by getting sick every week. But we're still riding and thriving. So I did some. I've been doing a little bit of cardio at the end of every training session this week, with the exception of Mondays, which was the priming day. Was it the priming day, or was it my squat? Where I put the treadmill on an incline and I try to get my heart rate between 120 and 140 for a minimum of 10 minutes. Earlier this week, I did 15 minutes. Today, I just did 10 minutes. Today, I did an 8% incline at 2.4 miles per hour for 15 straight minutes. And then we did a little bit of a cool down at 2 miles per hour at 0% incline to kind of let the heart rate drop down so that we don't get any sort of oozy woozies. So, you always want to, whenever you're doing cardio, you want to cool down to give your heart a little bit of a rest. Otherwise, if you stop all suddenly, then you run a chance of passing out. Which I learned that the hard way back when I was a child. I used to get my heart rate up. I used to be super competitive, and the first time I went to the gym, I was going on a cycle, but it had an interactive game, and I could get competitive with it. And my heart rate was in the 200s, because I was just pushing so hard. And I'd learned from hockey that you got to sprint every single time that you're on the ice. So I was trying to work on my sprint work. Like I would beat the pacer by a full minute, and led to a bunch of EKGs and stuff. I genetically have an enlarged heart. My dad has it too. So it's like there's nothing. I didn't cause it. There's nothing I can do about it. But was it? I mixed them two up. Is it Lance Armstrong or Neil Armstrong? The cyclist also had an enlarged heart. So another reason why I've been able to progress as fast as I am. The hemochromatosis, where my red blood cells are twice the size the normal people are, and that they're also denser, as well as the enlarged heart. That means I'm prime recovery. That I'm genetically predispositioned to be very well at recovering from strenuous activity. But we finished off with that cardio, and my nutritionist gives me a free meal after deadlifts every single week. So we jumped over to Domino's. I got myself a chicken Alfredo and a bread bowl, and I got my roommate a barbecue chicken pizza that they're not going to finish, and I'm going to finish for them, as well as some chocolate lava cakes, which always make me feel like dog shit, which is exactly what I'm looking for, because I want an increased amount of carbohydrates in my system to help me jumpstart the recovery process from today's deadlifts, which were super good, and I'm super proud of, and I'm super happy that they went the way that they did. I'm not exactly, I don't like the mindset that I was in entirely, because I was combative, but I didn't get into fights with anyone, if that makes sense. I don't like being that competitive nature. I like being fun, but I needed to kind of step things up today, and hopefully it wasn't too abrasive. I just kept the earbuds in and tried to not talk to anyone today. And deadlifts were good. That's all I can say. But I'm gonna go eat now. Watch some Rings of Power. Yes, it is a bad TV show, but I am a Tolkien addict. So, yeah. I will see you guys in the next one, where we jumpstart probably a really heavy singles week for squats and bench. I don't know if it's going to be heavy singles for deadlifts, but we're getting close to having to pick our openers, and the next couple weeks will decide that. So next video, we will be doing our priming day, where we'll get a better idea as to what's going on next week, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. So as always, this has been Patrick. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and have your mom send me some nudes, especially if your name is Stacy. I hear she's got it going on. Anyway, Patty out.